Welcome to Equipping Leaders, a podcast where I share and discuss resources, tools, and information to equip leaders to build creative, cohesive teams through culture and leader development. Welcome to the Equipping Leaders podcast. I am your host, Natasha, and today I'm going to talk about finding your leadership voice. I've heard people say, a leader can lead anyone. And this is such a daunting thing to say. Can the same leader who runs a company also inspire troops on a battlefield and lead a classroom in a university? Instead of getting into the eaches of every leadership situation, I like to break it down into three elements, which are leading when it's about you, leading when it's about others, and leading when it's about your organization. All three of these need their own attention and they build upon each other. First, we have leading when it's about you. And this encompasses your leadership style, how you adjust it, your self-awareness, your self-development, and how you reflect. Bill Hybels once said that everyone wins when a leader gets better. And this also plays into John Maxwell's law of the lid, which claims that leadership ability is the lid that determines a leader's level of effectiveness. So the lower the lid, the lower an individual's ability to lead. How are you, and how can you, work to consistently improve yourself and your leadership? First, you have your leadership style, and there are all kinds of leadership styles. You have servant leadership and bureaucratic leadership. The most important thing about your signature leadership style is that it fits you. It has to fit you, the people that you work with, and the outcome that you want. If you're using a style that feels or felt authentic to you, but it's no longer effective for you or for those around you, then you need to update it. But you don't have to change completely. You're just updating this authentic style that is yours. When people ask me about my leadership style, I tend to just self-identify as a leader without a specific style. And I know a lot of other leaders who do the same. So I'm a leader, and my style is determined by the situation. I do trend towards styles that are more collaborative and more team-based, but I can use other styles dependent upon what my environment needs. Self-awareness is the basis of a lot of things, especially in leadership and self-development. This is what allows you to acknowledge the areas where you know you need to improve, and the acknowledgement that there are areas that we need to improve that we don't even know about. Self-awareness can uncover blind spots, and it can close gaps that we can't even begin to address without self-awareness. Self-development is the key for improving your leadership. You have official education, you have certifications, there's free online courses, there are books, and engaging with a variety of leaders, and these are all effective self-development techniques. Now let's shift to when it's about others. You lead people and you manage processes and resources. People do not want to be managed. So think about that. Do you want someone else to manage you, manage your daily interactions and manage your work life? When a process needs to be managed, you must empower people to manage it. Leaders empowered others to be autonomous while also providing some structure to help people get to where they need to be in order to be successful. Most of leadership is about others. How do we inspire, mentor, guide, coach, empower, and encourage others to accomplish something? Those are all the tasks of leadership. Another important aspect of this is communication. Everyone and every organization can work on their communication. That's always a given. When it's about others, though, it's not how you communicate, and everyone else has to figure that out in order to get answers or get time with you, but how do others need you to communicate to them? How are they communicating to you? I know in a previous episode where I was talking about building teams, I spoke about the words that people use to communicate, and those words tell us how people take in information. So I hear this, or I see what you are saying. Learn how people need communication and tailor your style to that. It will make for far less frustration and a lot more collaboration. I know some people get a little wrapped up in this, like if people want the leadership to hear them, they need to figure out how the leader takes in information. But this just makes me think of Cy Wakeman's work, and she said, whatever's missing is from you. You go first. Great leaders bring people together and get results, but this cannot happen if there is a ton of ego in the way. You gotta let all that stuff go. Finally, we have when it's about the organization. The performance of the organization or the results that it is striving towards are valuable because that's what keeps that business alive and it helps keep people employed. It's important to remember that the self-development of the individual and the collaboration with others is what will ultimately drive the organization's results. Change initiatives and programs are examples of when it's about the organization. These encourage us to think about the collective and not as individuals or as smaller teams. This requires us, though, to voice concerns while also understanding that change is what keeps organizations alive and functioning. As you consider your leadership voice, there are a lot of elements that will come into play. Your authentic style, your development, your emotional intelligence, your communication skills, just to name a few. But as the situation or the environment evolves, determine what type of leadership is needed to support yourself, your teammates, and the organization. Thank you for listening to the Equipping Leaders podcast. You can follow me on Instagram at novel_Natasha or on Twitter at Natasha Cheyenne. Please join me next time for more insight and resources to equip leaders.